One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is playing whack-a-mole with the content that they're putting out into the world. You know that carnival game where you're like, bam, 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 bam. So let's see if you've been there, because I totally have. It's 9 a.m. and you're frantically trying to come up with an idea for a Facebook post again, and you're coming up blank. You commit to writing a blog post, but you panic the night before because you don't know what you're supposed to publish. You constantly feel behind the 8 ball, and even though you are spending countless, or what feels like countless hours researching and writing and posting, you're just not getting engagement. You're getting a whole lot of silence. And what's worse, the content that you do manage to publish isn't getting any engagement or leading to sales. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you a likely reason why this is happening to you and what you can do about it so it doesn't happen again. If you wanna feel organized and in control of your content and have content that works for you, as in creates engagement, and have the content lead to sales, you should be doing this one thing. Let's dive in. One of the biggest credos that I live by is structure equals freedom. If you are flying by the seat of your pants in your business, it's likely that you aren't consistently showing up anywhere on your blog, on social media, for free talks. Even when you do, you feel like your presence is disjointed and random. The more organized and disciplined you are in blocking off your time to plan ahead, then the freer your brain is to do the next level stuff necessary to move your business forward. So how do you keep all of the things organized? The blogs, the social media, the emails, the Facebook Lives, and every other piece of content that you want to create. How do you know what's going on in your business today, tomorrow, next week, in 2 weeks? The answer, drum roll, that was not a good drum roll. Use an editorial calendar. Yeah, I know you're not producing a magazine, except you kinda are. Each week, there is a list of content things that needs to get created and published that have different calls to action with the intention of leading people to different outcomes. An editorial calendar can be used to organize, strategize, and plan out different pieces of content ahead of time to ensure that you are creating a variety of content that gets published across all platforms. We live and breathe by our editorial calendar. It tells me what content I need to create in advance, keeps everything neat and tidy when it comes to publishing across multiple platforms. Basically, if I were to start to freak out because I'm not sure what's going on, I go to the calendar and I see what I need to create next or what's being published today. Now, here's the important thing to note. We don't use any fancy program for our editorial calendar. We just use a simple Google Sheet, or if you want, an Excel document with the individual days of the month running down the column, and then across the rows at the top, we have these categories: type of content, subject line, call to action, link to content. And I've done you a solid. In the description of this video is a link to a free editorial calendar template that you can download and use to plan out your own content. So the next obvious question is, well, how do I use this editorial calendar in my business? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to schedule time to plan your content. Let's say it's every 2 weeks. We do it monthly, but honestly, it changes slightly every 2 weeks. So just know that this calendar is fluid. Things change. You'll have an idea and you're gonna wanna move around a blog post or an email, and that's totally fine. So make these planning meetings either with yourself or your team fun. Go to a coffee shop, find a nice restaurant with Wi-Fi, order a nice meal, maybe have a drink if that's your thing. Enjoy the planning session. You have a business meeting with yourself. Make it fun. So here are the steps that you can follow to plan out your editorial calendar. Step 1, schedule in all of your sales promotions first. So what is the mechanism by which you are inviting clients into transformation? Is it via a discovery call, via a webinar, via Facebook Lives, via sales consults, which are discovery calls, via sales emails? Sales promos get noted first because the rest of the content that you're going to schedule is used to prime the sale. So make sure you schedule your sales promos first. Step 2, schedule in your recurring content pieces. So this would be your weekly blog, your weekly emails. If you do a weekly Facebook Live, what pieces of content do you consistently publish week to week? When you schedule your recurring pieces of content, make sure to include calls to action. This is the action you want the reader or the subscriber to take. Do you want them to book a discovery call or sign up for a webinar, RSVP to a free talk? The recurring content leads them to take the next step with you. Step number 3, schedule your social media content. There are different types of social media content. Maybe you have a free group, so you need to create and publish edutaining posts for the free group. Then you have the rest of social media, right? This is where you schedule your daily, if you publish daily, social media content. So what is being created and published on Instagram, right? What is being created and published on Facebook? What is being created and published on YouTube? Every single piece of regular content, your daily content, needs to be added into your editorial calendar. Now, make sure that at least 15% of your weekly social media content posts include calls to action that lead the reader to the following step, to a discovery call, to your lead magnet. So that means that if you publish 7 days a week, that's 7 posts. 1 to 2 of them include a call to action that leads to the next step versus publishing engaging content that doesn't lead the reader anywhere. Once you're done this planning session, you'll have a clearly laid out plan as to what content you're going to need to create and when you need to publish it. Then you can track which pieces of content generate the most actions, meaning your community that liked a piece and took action on it from either liking it, sharing, engaging, or taking the next step. This is also a much more time-efficient method of organizing and creating content. By sitting down and getting into the right headspace, you can plan out 2 weeks or a month worth of content in just a couple of hours. Having a laid out plan of what you're going to create makes sitting down and creating your content in batches so much easier than sitting down at random times, creating one-off pieces of content and forgetting to publish it. Once you've got your content planned out, you can go back and review. Am I promoting my lead magnet enough? Am I inviting my audience into transformation via some type of sales conversation enough? Am I repeating too much of the same type of content? Am I using enough social proof? Editorial calendars are particularly effective when you start to plan out an online program launch as well. You can choose the launch date, the day you open enrollment, and the day you close enrollment so that you can reverse engineer all of the pre-launch and launch content you're going to need to create for the entire campaign. This type of organized approach might sound challenging to those of you who prefer to create your content on the fly when the creative mood strikes. But creativity and an editorial calendar are not mutually exclusive. And I'm also going to call you out on that. Creativity and passion is fleeting. If you only create content when you feel creative, then it's likely you're not creating and publishing consistently. Overwhelm is a word that I hear all the time. Action alleviates anxiety, and organized, intentional action is even more powerful. By implementing an editorial calendar into your business, you are taking conscious, structured steps to ensure that the content that you are putting out into the world is on brand, on message, and you are making every Facebook post and blog post work for you, and most importantly, you're showing up consistently. Now, I'd love to know from you, do you use an editorial calendar? Share it in the comments below, and if this video was helpful, hit that big red subscribe button and that lovely little bell so that you get notified the next time I publish a video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk real soon.